on, everybody? This is Micah just checking in. I'm just doing a follow-up video for nutrition, how I approach it, just some general guidelines just to help you get started, because I can't really give you specifics on face-to-face or individual plans, because this is more a vast population that's watching this video. So in the first video I spoke about some recommendations. Number one, really start tracking your food. You got to figure out what your baseline is to figure out where you want to go. So ideally checking in with your day-to-day routine, ideal situations, out of whack situations, and a weekend. Figuring out that trend of where your calories are on those particular days. Am I maintaining, am I gaining, or am I losing weight on that current situation? And is that matching up to my current status of goals and where I want to be? I'm going to cover weight loss, body fat loss, because that seems to be more of a hot topic rather than gaining weight or gaining muscle, maintaining, because those guidelines definitely we can speak about, but I'll talk about this one first. Generally speaking, macronutrient breakdowns, guidelines around that, but for this video I want to talk about just figuring out your total daily energy expenditure. Basically that means is how many calories do I have to intake to maintain status quo or homeostasis within my body. And to figure that out, most people don't have a resource to get their BMR checked, or basal metabolic rate, which is really at the rate of how many calories am I burning just by living day to day, and then doing a activity multiplier based off my current situation with exercise intensity, frequency, and all that good stuff. So basically, you want to figure out what your current situation is, what those trends were with your calories. And then number two is there's a calculator. You can look it up on Google. Just look up BMR equation, and you can plug in all your fantastic numbers of body weight and age and height and all that good jazz, and it'll spit out a number for you for your BMR. And then you should be able to calculate your activity multiplier based off the Harris-Benedict equation or the Mifflin-St. Jean. And you can definitely play around with those numbers and see where you fall. But typically it's 1.3 to 1.9 as an activity multiplier. 1.3 is generally people that are basically sedentary. They're not doing very much activity, planned exercise. And then 1.9, 1.7, those are the people that are athletes, and they're just like balls to the wall, going intense, vigorous activity, exercise throughout the course of the week. So usually people tend to fall within that 1.5, that moderate intensity frequency. So you look up those equations, and typically people, when they start tracking food, they're either overestimating where they should be or underestimating. Generally speaking, I do see a lot of ladies that typically undershoot their calories. They're not doing very much calorie intake. General population, when they think of weight loss or body fat loss, I need to cut carbohydrates, I need to cut fat, I just need to increase protein, I need to be on these high protein diets, and so they see these dramatic weight loss changes for the most part when they first start, and then it becomes super difficult. So the idea is you want to be at the max amount of calories before you start losing body fat or looking through weight loss throughout that process. You're off at a total better start if you have a higher calorie load, because you're going to hit plateaus, you're going to hit sticking points throughout the process, and if you don't have enough calories to pull from, your body is going to fight back tremendously to hold on to everything it can. And once you get off that type of protocol, your body's going to try and latch onto everything that you intake. And that's why you see this trend of losing a lot of weight or losing some weight, getting off of that, and gaining a lot of weight back, or even over amount of weight gain throughout that process. So the idea is you want to be at the max amount of calories. Let's say somebody's at 3,000 calories a day and they're losing weight, but their total daily energy expenditure says it's supposed to be about 2,500 calories. Does that mean that person just should automatically drop down to 2,500 calories? No. If they're seeing results, and they're at a better starting point, basically, and they're able to have more things to pull from as they start seeing plateaus. And so somebody that's maybe doing 1,500 calories, but their total daily energy expenditure is 2,200 calories, does that mean they automatically should jump up to 2,200 calories? No. You should be able to gradually move yourself up, and once you get to that, at least that, and at a slow rate, then you can start looking towards weight loss or body fat loss. If you start cutting down or trying to lose weight or lose body fat on a 1,400 calorie count or a lower end of the spectrum type calorie count, it's going to get really difficult really quickly once you hit sticking points and plateaus within that weight loss body fat protocol. So generally speaking, you want to be at the highest amount of calories. Typically the guideline is for healthy weight loss is 1/2 pound to 2 pounds per week. I don't really believe in that. I don't even know where that really came from as far as a healthy guideline, because you may have somebody that's 300 pounds and they may lose weight at a higher rate because they have a lot to lose. You may have somebody that's 160 pounds and they're trying to lose weight, lose body fat. Losing 2 pounds per week is probably going to be a lot harder for them to do on that higher side of the spectrum. So generally speaking, doing 0.5% to 1% is a better guideline because that helps, more specific to the individual. Plus, you want to maintain as much lean muscle mass in the process of what you're doing. So just for example, I'm 165 pounds. If I wanted to start losing weight or lose body fat, I would generally like to see 0.8 to 1.6 pounds of weight loss on the scale per week, and falling within that realm so that I can know for the most part that I'm losing body fat rather than muscle mass within the process. So that's, I wanted to make this short and quick as far as what your next step should be, is figuring out what your total daily energy expenditure is based off BMR equation and an activity multiplier. And once you figure out that number, depending if you're on the lower end of that or you're way above that, what your current situation is. And it just goes back to, am I losing weight, am I gaining weight, or maintaining weight on my current situation? And that's really going to determine if I really need to get to that total daily energy expenditure, or where should I be at. If you're on the lower end and you're looking to lose weight, it's really about getting to that, at least that total daily energy expenditure, so that you're at a better starting point. And it's a gradual process. And I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, because most people do not want to have to increase calories when they want to start losing weight. But like I said, you're going to be at a better vantage point if you're at the highest amount of calories. If you're above that total daily energy expenditure and you're losing weight, by all means, that's awesome. Make sure that it's just 0.5% to 1% per week. And when you hit sticking points, that way you can start dropping calories. Not dramatically, because it really doesn't take that much to start seeing changes, depending on what your current situation is. In my next video, I'm actually going to talk about macronutrients. That's probably what a lot of people want me to talk about, but I really wanted to make sure that you guys had a foundation to build off of, because macronutrients, that gets a little bit more specific as far as tracking what that really looks like as far as guidelines and ratios, percentages throughout the course of each day, and how to really do that accurately and make it fit within your realm. But I can give you guys some tips on how to track more efficiently, what I found that really works, and even having some backups just in case plans just go awry, with your current situation. So that'll be in my next video. I'll probably call it 2.5 because it's just more of an intermittent type of video as far as trying to give you guys some ideas, some strategies on how you can track more accurately and make life a little bit more easier. Alright, thanks for checking in, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.